Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. And that's my purpose, my passion is to help you create your best inspired life. And I do that as a medium as well as a spiritual life coach. Now, today's coaching tip is all about not feeling good enough. Have you ever gotten stuck in that trap of questioning yourself, wondering what you should do, where you should go, if you're even on the right path, how to get where you want to go? Now, I know I have done that many times. And what I've noticed is that whenever I start doubting myself, my questions always come down to the feeling of not being good enough. Every single question, it's always about not being good enough. And that feeling shows up in so many different ways. We have the doubting questions of wondering how to do something, or even if we should try to do something. These questions frequently will turn us into finding that inner self-critical voice that loves to perpetuate the idea that we are not good enough. We feel helpless. We don't know how we're going to get out of this struggle. We seem to be stuck in this cycle of thoughts in our heads, and it's so hard to get out of that at times. This doubting questions, the self-doubt and the self-critical voice, we get stuck in that negative spiral of thoughts that can just take us down into a really bad place. Each negative thought we have leads to another. Have you ever watched that? You'll think something, and then before you know it, you have totally catastrophized everything about yourself. We feel horrible, and we can't get out of it. And we get to the point where we feel defeated before we've even done anything. We think, why bother? I'm not going to try. It's not going to make a difference anyway. So why do it? I'm sure you've had some experiences like this of feeling not good enough. And it doesn't have to be in a big goal or anything like that. It can be in a small life situation. You may have said something, and then all of a sudden you think, oh, I'm a horrible person. I can't believe I said that, or whatever it is. And if you've had this feeling, which I'm sure you have, you will feel lost and you might feel helpless. You won't be able to figure out how to make a positive change in your life or how to move towards that goal if you have one. Maybe you believe it's not even possible to change and move towards something, or change and get out of those thoughts. And that affects how we're experiencing our lives, and we get into that real negative place. Maybe sometimes you even look towards other people to validate you. You look for their opinions to let you know that you're okay, you're on the right path, that kind of thing. Now, these things I'm all talking about are all about they're signs of the ways we don't believe in ourselves, which is really the definition of self-doubt. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't trust ourselves. We don't trust ourselves to take the right action. We don't trust ourselves to be able to change what's happening in our heads. I actually know a person who's always asking other people for their advice and their opinions. It's like she can't think for herself. It drives me crazy, actually. And she wants to be told what to do, what's going to happen, how to handle this, how to do that. She's not believing in herself. She doesn't realize that she can take care of her life herself. She doesn't need somebody else to help her. She believes subconsciously, because I don't know if she recognizes it yet, that she's not good enough to be able to create the life she wants to have. So she's always asking other people, thinking that they know more about her life than she does, which is weird. I talked about that last week. We're the only people who know about our lives. And anybody else who tries to help us with that, sometimes it just doesn't really work out. Now, the way to get out of feeling like we're not good enough and to move into that state where we believe in ourselves is to actually, it's a very simple thing, is to focus on who we are and what we want. And people, sometimes they go, oh, I know what I want. I know what I want. Well, yeah, maybe you do. But if it's an external thing, you've got to focus on yourself inside. Because what happens is we don't listen to ourselves. We might have a feeling, or we might do something thinking about somebody else's opinions. We fall into a habit, basically, of listening to other people and the trap of what will others think. What will they say? We may not even realize we're doing that. And we need to shift out of that habit and make a more empowering habit where we pay attention to ourselves. We just pay attention to what's happening inside. And then what happens is we make our choices based on what we want and who we are. Now, I have a little bit of a story for you. In October, I went to a writer's workshop. It was a conference for a major book publisher. They were holding it. And I'm writing a book. And as you probably have gathered by now, it's on self-doubt and how we can use our life problems to get back to the power of who we are. And a great part about this conference, it was so much fun to be there. A great part of it is I had the opportunity to submit a book proposal to this publishing company, and they will review it and possibly publish it. Normally, if you're going to submit a book to a major publisher, you have to have an agent, and they have to submit it. You have to have like 10,000 followers on Facebook and every place else and all of that, which I don't have, so follow me there. And hopefully then, an agent will take care of it for you. So for this opportunity, they're having a contest, basically. And so anybody who went to this conference can submit a proposal. They said out of the 300 people who were there, probably 100 would submit a proposal. So I am one of the 100 that is going to submit one. Now, here's the interesting part. Writing this proposal has been craziness. It has been so full of self-doubt for me. Somebody told me once, whatever you're writing about is what you're going to experience. So I wish I had written about becoming a millionaire or something. That might have been more fun. So I've experienced all the self-doubt. I have an editor who's helping me. She's helping me with the structure of the proposal. There's certain things you have to put in it and certain ways of phrasing things and stuff like that. So she's helping me. So I write stuff and I send it to her. And what I've noticed is that I really want her approval. I want her to let me know I'm on the right path. I want her to let me know that my writing is good enough and that I have a chance. Okay, isn't this interesting? Now, the irony of writing a book on self-doubt and experiencing it so strongly is not lost on me. I understand. But they say teach what you need to know or something like that. Here you go. That's what I'm doing right now. So we're working on that. It's very interesting because when I'm thinking about it, when I question if my writing is good enough, I'm also questioning, am I good enough? Are my ideas good enough that people will find them interesting, that they will like them? How many times do we want people to like us? Will they like my ideas? This is a perfect example of looking outside of myself for validation to let me know I'm on the right path. And I understand, because I've been on this path for a while, that things happen as they're supposed to. So that's all good. That hasn't stopped me from still wanting it to be good and acceptable to other people. This is also a perfect example, as an aside here, of being attached to an outcome. And that's not a good thing. And I have already made plans to submit my proposal to an agent so that I have other options, that I'm not putting all my wishes in one basket, if you will. Now, speaking of the book proposal, I know that publishers only want to publish books that they think are going to sell. So, of course, there does have to be some public appeal here. But I noticed that when I was focused on what I thought other people wanted, including my editor and including what I think my audience wants, my writing wasn't flowing. It wasn't working. It was harder to write. I would sit there for an hour and come up with 2 sentences that weren't any good. It was crazy, which isn't how I normally write. Normally, I get inspired and I just write, and it just comes right out. So when I started questioning myself and doubting myself, doubting my message really is what it was, doubting if I'm good enough to get that message out there, I moved into thinking that I was just wasting my time. Why should I bother? I shouldn't bother. It's not going to work anyway. I'm not good enough. I did the whole thing we all do. I did it all. And I got lost in my doubts, and I lost touch with who I was, which really was perfect because that was what I was writing about. See, everything works out perfectly, doesn't it? Because I was writing about it, I knew exactly what was going on, and I knew exactly what I needed to do to get out of that phase and get out of that mode of self-doubt and putting myself down and feeling like I'm not good enough. what I had to do is I had to stay true to myself and to what my message is. And my message is to help people live a better life, to be able to step out of those crazy thoughts we have in our head and handle the problems that we have in our lives so we have a better life. And I knew from my experiences and all my teaching and all of that, that it was fear talking to me, trying to protect myself from criticism from others or potential for failure. I knew what was happening. And so many times those thoughts will stop us from even trying. And when that happens, even though we're being protected from failure or criticism, we're not living our lives fully and we're suppressing ourselves. And because I recognized what was happening, it was much easier to release those negative emotional thoughts and move back into trusting myself. When I focused on what I wanted to accomplish, which was helping the people out there, everybody out there, to help them, I was able to step out of the doubt. And you can do that too when you recognize what it is you want and who you are. It's in the moments, literally the moments, that we make the decisions. As soon as we notice that our thoughts are going crazy, we have to make a step in our head to change and shift out of that. I had to make a decision to check in with myself. As soon as I started to feel badly about myself or that I wasn't good enough, I had to come back to myself and go, your message is this. Your purpose is this. This is what you've been wanting to do for so long. Just do it. It's not necessary that I have that external validation. Of course, it's always nice because we love to hear good things about ourselves. It makes us feel better and all that. It's not necessary, really. It isn't to have that. But what is necessary is to have that connection to our inner self. So if you're having problems in your life, things are happening, you feel like you're not good enough, you feel like you're questioning yourself all the time, you're questioning if you can do something, if you should do something, if you're holding yourself back from your life, your goals, your dreams, step back into who you are, check in with yourself, find out who you are, what you want to do, and make those small decisions to listen to yourself. And start with the small ones. You know, what do you want to eat for dinner? You know, what color do you want to wear? Do you really want to do whatever it is you're going to be doing? Do you really want to keep thinking that negative thought? You can do all sorts of things. As soon as you start to feel badly about yourself, check in and see what's going on in there. Then you can make a choice to change it. Once you practice, and you have to practice listening to yourself, paying attention to yourself, what really happens in those small decisions, you're practicing it and you're strengthening your ability to check in with yourself. You're strengthening your ability to listen to yourself and believe in yourself. And as you do this, you'll show yourself that you are good enough, and you'll be able to handle the bigger problems when they come along, because we are all, every single one of us is good enough, and we are here to experience life to the fullest and the best we possibly can. And that is my coaching tip of the day. You can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com. You can sign up for my mailing list there, and do follow me on Facebook because I need more followers apparently before I hand this thing in next month. And it's Colleen Vanderzyden, medium and self-empowerment coach. And I would love to hear from you. I do like to get your messages, so thanks for doing that. So we are going to move on right now to our first caller, who is Alonza from North Carolina. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're excited, because when people are excited, it's so much easier to do a reading, let me tell you. So do you have something in particular you'd like me to touch in with or talk about?
No, ma'am. Whatever just comes to you, whatever I need to be told, I'm here to listen.
Okay. Well, what I like to do is touch in with people on the other side, and I do have a woman here who wants to talk to you. And I have to tell you right away, I love the energy of this woman. She has a similar energy to yours, by the way. She's an enthusiastic person. She's somebody who lived her life fully here in the present when she was here. It wasn't an easy life all the time. There were lots of challenges and struggles, but still there's so much joy in her life. She does come through with a bit of a religion or spiritual feel as well. Do you have a grandmother, somebody who's like this?
Yes, my grandmother, Shirley Holloway.
Awesome. And are you a lot like her? Because that's what it's feeling like to me right now.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Good. Because you know what it is? I like her attitude with life. There's a certain can-do attitude. I can get this done. I can do it. And even though there were problems, issues, do you happen to know if she had a miscarriage, by the way?
Yes, she did. She had twins. My mom would tell me that story. She had twins and miscarried.
Oh, okay. Okay. I love when spirit
Wow.
interrupts me as I'm talking about something else, and because that usually means I'm really connected to them. So I do like that. And she did mention that, so I'll just leave that there. But she, as she was talking about it, she was talking about the problems we have in life and how she just keeps going. Talk about joy. I'm getting like goosebumps from this woman. She's so happy to be talking to you. Have you had a message from her before with another medium or anything?
No, ma'am, not at all.
How wonderful that.
Wow.
Wow, because I have to tell you, there's such. Okay, wait, another thing. Do you happen to? Okay, sorry, I can't talk. She's coming through so fast. I'm seeing a picture of her. Do you happen to know when she was younger if she had really how can I put this? Her hair looks really good. A very beautiful woman. And it looks like every hair is just right in the right place. You know how sometimes they used to have those little curly things going on in the hair?
Yes, yes. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness, yes. And
Okay.
she always got her hair like that in a little curl. Like, I can't explain it, but it's like little curls.
Okay, because she was showing me that, and wow, I love this woman. She's she's so wonderful. I want to talk about you though, because I'm just she's so excited to be talking to you, and she wants me first and foremost to make sure I tell you how much she loves you, and how proud she is of you. She says that you had a bit of struggles yourself, as we all do, but you always find the silver lining in things. You always look for the good in people. You trust people, don't you? Oh my goodness. Do you really do all of that stuff?
Yes, ma'am. I try.
Yes. You do. You trust them, and you trust them. Sometimes it can get you in trouble, especially when you're young. So back then, it would get you in trouble because you trust them, think they're like you. But you have such a joy as well, just like her. It's a beautiful feeling here. Oh man, I wish I could just give you this feeling that she's giving me. I'm gonna send it to you through the phone because there's so much love here coming through. And she's talking about freedom, and she's talking about freedom to do what you want and be and all of that stuff. And she so much admires how you react to life, and you make her proud. Not that you need that, and not that that's important, because no matter what you do, she's going to be proud of you. But she does want to tell you that, how proud she is of you, and it's so touching right now. I just love it. Okay, she's mentioning one more thing. I'm getting jewelry from her. Who has the jewelry?
I do. I do, and my mom does too. We both have some.
Okay, because I'm touching my fingers, and I'm touching my wrists as well, but my fingers. So I'm wondering about rings and things like this.
My mother.
Okay. I'm wondering if she wants to talk to your mom for a minute. So let me just see. Yeah.
Wow, if my mom was with me, she would have a fit right now.
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
There's a lot of love coming towards her, too. She gives me the impression your mom's had some significant issues with struggles of some sort.
Yes,
I don't know what that... Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes.
And there's a lot of reassurance for her, a lot of reassurance. And you've been a big support to your mom. She does want to acknowledge that as well.
Oh, my God.
You've been so helpful for her and helping her in so many different ways. Oh, my goodness. How fun. Okay. Let me see if she has anything else she wants to say. She's mostly just sending love. It's just all about love. Oh, she's showing me more. She's not going to miss her opportunity. So I'll do one more minute with you. She's showing me birds and things like this. Do you have a connection where you would look at a certain bird and see her, think of her, anything like this? Because she's showing me birds.
No, I don't,
Okay.
but I tend to look up at the sky a lot and look at birds flying around. Definitely. I'm drawn to them.
Okay. So just keep your eye open now, because I've mentioned it. You may very well start to notice a certain kind of bird that comes around more frequently in places where you don't expect. So it's not just, I see this bird flying and woo, that's cool. But it's a place you don't expect. You might see it right outside your window, peering in the window or something like this. So just keep your eye out. Don't worry about it. But if you'll notice it if you're supposed to notice it. So no worries there. Well, Alonzo, thank you so much. I'm so happy I got to talk to you and talk to your grandmother. She is wonderful. So
thank you so much. You're wonderful for even doing this. Thank you.
I am so happy for you and so happy to have talked to you both. Thank you so much. Maybe I'll talk to you again sometime because that was fun.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. Definitely. I'm going to tell my mom about this. She's going to go crazy.
Oh, I'm sure she will. It's so awesome, isn't it? Well, thank you. I'll see you another time.
Yes, ma'am. Blessings to you.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. Isn't it awesome to talk to Spirit and see what happens and who comes through and what's going on? It's so cool. And I could tell she was very open, so that helps a lot. Next, we are going on to Salima. Salima from Daytona, Florida. I was just there. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. I'm right down the street right now. I'm staying in Ponce Inlet right now.
We're really not super close to me, actually.
Oh, how weird is that? So what can I help you with tonight, my last 5 minutes here?
I would like, if it's possible, to connect with my parents. They recently passed away.
Okay. Both of them, huh? I'm sorry to hear that because that's difficult when we lose both of them close together. Yeah. I have a man who's coming in right now, and I don't know if it's him, so we'll have to sort it out here. I'm getting a lot of breathing issues going on. I got chest stuff happening here, and I feel like I can't quite get enough air. I don't know what's going on with him, with this man who comes in. There's a lot of feelings of wanting to take care of you, though. So did your father have some kind of an issue going on in his chest area before he passes?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And did your parents pass together?
Minutes apart.
Okay. Because
probably
there's
not more than an hour apart, probably.
Okay. There's a feeling of together to the end. Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't come through very frequently for me, so this is significant because I feel them there together. I feel I get the shock of stuff around us here. I must be talking about both of them now. I'm getting a shock of things happening. They want you to know very clearly, though, and I want to make sure I do say this, that it wasn't as bad as it seemed. Okay? They want you to know it wasn't as bad as it seems. They say that their experience was very quick for them, although it may not have appeared that way for the body. For themselves, their inner self, their soul, it was very quick. So they're giving me the impression you're kind of holding on to some of that. Are you holding on to some of how they passed? And
every night I think about how they passed away.
Okay.
And it keeps me up every night.
Oh, okay. No wonder we're talking about it, because they're telling me you can release that. They give me the impression that it was very quick, that what appears to be difficult for the body is not experienced truly by the soul of the person, and not to worry about that anymore at all, not at all to worry about it. They want me to tell you how much they love you, of course. So many times I forget to tell people that part, and it is coming through very strongly like it was for the last caller, and I want to make sure you recognize this. They say they're very strong in this as well, that they have not left you. Okay, this doesn't mean they haven't progressed to heaven. Okay, it means they can be in both places at once. They have not left you. They're watching you, taking care of you, watching over you. They're hearing everything you're saying, and they're hearing the pain you're experiencing. And they want you to know that it's okay to experience that. And even if you're experiencing some anger on occasion, okay, related to their passing, that it's okay to do that too, because it's a natural part of moving through the loss and the grief. So they want you to say, it's okay. It's okay. They love you so much. They say they're very impressed by how strong you've been for other people. You've been really looking out for some others. And at times you're not letting the grief out yourself because you're trying to stay so strong. It's okay to let it out. They understand you prefer to do it privately, and that's perfectly fine as well. And so they do acknowledge that too. They said, don't worry at all. They are good. They feel good. They're happy, and they're still here. It's very important for you to continue talking to them. They like when you talk to them, and when you pour out all your thoughts and emotions. They love when you do that. They say not to worry so much. I'm getting the impression in my last minute here, something about, are you guys planning headstone or something?
No, we're not doing headstones right now. They were cremated.
Okay, because they're talking about planning something. It is a commemoration. That's why I think headstone, okay? They're talking about a commemoration and not to worry about it just yet. So if you guys are planning some other something, to commemorate them, it feels like a physical thing to me. And then not to worry about it. It will appear as it's supposed to. You'll make the decisions as you're supposed to. So Salima, I am getting my warning that I don't have a whole lot of time left here. So I do want to leave you with their love, so much love. And okay, she's telling me as soon as you start thinking about how they passed and everything, to instead thank them, to acknowledge them in your life now. Thank you for being here now. Thank you for loving me. I love you too. And just send them love, and just consciously send them love. And that will help you get out of that negative cycle of worrying and thoughts about how things went down there. Okay. So thank you so much, Salima. I'm so happy I got to talk to you. Maybe I'll see you on the street. You have a wonderful night.
I really appreciate this. You too.
Thank you. You're welcome. So that was Salima. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this was Creating an Inspired Life. This week, if you start to feel like you're not good enough, that you can't move forward, you're stuck in some thoughts in your head that are bringing you down, you do have the power to get out of it. Just check in with who you are. Check in with what you want to do. Check in with how you're feeling and what you really want. You can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, and also on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, Medium and Self-Empowerment Coach. You have a great week, and I will talk to you next week. Goodbye.